Welcome back, everybody. Anybody that's new here, thanks for joining me today. A little wind-blown hair this morning. Just getting out with the sunrise here. Finally made it out at sunrise. The only problem is there's duck hunters out here today. I mean, I don't have a problem with duck hunters. It's just, I don't really feel like getting rained on. But the big thing here is the water temps are already 69 degrees, and this is a shallow lake, so hopefully I get a chance at it. I'm gonna try top water. I have a couple other ideas today for some interesting things to try. If you guys have been following my Instagram over the last summer here, I bought a couple lures that I've been wanting to try out. They're very special, and we'll see if they work out here. It should be this time of year that they start working really good. But first off, I'm gonna start with a little popper. It's a Rebel popper, I believe. And yeah, we're gonna try to get some topwater fish right away. Okay, obviously it goes without saying, I'm in my boat again. For all you guys that have been around, I had to switch it up. I did do a catch and cook at a river recently, so if you guys missed that video, go through my DWS Outdoors playlist with all my videos in it and check that out, because that was a really cool catch and cook scenario that happened. But yeah, I wanted to get back out in the boat. It's been kind of bugging me. It's not cheap to take the boat out, but sometimes you just gotta try to get on some topwater in the early morning. Plus, it's basically glass calm, so this should be fun. And like I said, I'm using this, it's a Rebel popper. It's a nice little white one. Works pretty good. I have 25-pound leader attached to 30-pound Sufix 832. I'll link everything I'm using in the description below, like I always do. But this one's on the Apex inshore popping rod. It's my 7.6. It's kind of like it's like a fast action, like medium heavy. So a lot of people think when you're using topwater, you're always mimicking a frog. I literally just landed on a bluegill that was right at the surface, and it made him jump out of the water. That is literally what I'm mimicking with these poppers. If I wanted to mimic a frog, I'd be throwing a frog. So just a little tip for you guys if you're trying to figure out if it's worth throwing a topwater or not. If there's bluegills near the surface, it's worth it. I think that's a northern pike. If it's not, that's a good, no, that's a good bass. That was cool. Little 1 or 2 pounder to start the day. This little guy, but he was vicious. That's all that matters. All right, send your big mama. The cool part is that thing was actually pretty thick for how small it was. So if I get like a 20 that size, we're doing good. Not that guy. He barely slurped it down, but he hit it. It was enough. It's another little guy. They're not quite active on it, but I mean, this guy's got a fat little tummy. When you got a 12-inch bass that goes over a pound, you're doing okay for size structure for the season. Cool tip number 2 here. These guys are putting on the fall feed, and by putting on the fall feed, gives me the opportunity to get one more topwater season in. Okay, so I found a bunch of minnows on the surface. I spotted them from way off in the distance, and when you see minnows on the surface in giant schools, there always tends to be some bass underneath them, pushing them up like that. So there are definitely some bass around here, I found. Just gotta hook up with one. But that would be a kind of a cool way to target these guys, is just follow the minnow schools. Like that. This guy was literally sitting behind the school. That's a fun way to target fish. It's like sight fishing them, but oh, and they're getting fat already. Yeah, 14-inch bass, weighs 2 pounds. That's cool. So what you guys didn't see is me cruising around making thousands of casts, and I just happened to look over at these guys and seeing a bunch of minnows coming up to the surface. There's still a bunch more, so I'm not gonna mess around too long with this guy. But yeah, I'll kind of point them out as I cast at them, but wherever I'm casting, there's minnows on the surface. Oh, and I'm literally watching bass come up and eat these minnows. So the trick here when fishing this popper is just kind of make it look like one of the injured minnows. So the bass will hit a minnow and it'll come up to the surface like this, and if it looks like it's dead, then the bass will come up and finish the job, basically. And it's always good to try and cast a little bit past where you think the minnows are coming up. And then just as soon as I find them, they're gone. So, and then the wind kind of picked up a little bit. It's not windy per se, but like the ripples. When it's flat calm, you can see the minnows real easy. When it gets a little ripply, it's pretty hard to see them. But yeah, if you guys see minnows coming up to the surface, start casting around them, because there's gonna be bigger fish around. There's one. Man, it's been a while. Where are all the big ones? Little pipsqueak. Where are my 5 and 6 pounders? Of course, the biggest one of the day, and my camera was off. The amateur hour. I mean, he's not a giant, but he's big compared to all the other ones. Slurped it down, ironically enough, right when the camera died. I wanted to shut it off. Not a bad fish. They get a lot bigger out here. Okay, so that was number 4 or 5. Nothing real big today, but at least I'm still getting some topwater slurps. Had to come into this really shallow area. Just kind of hoping there's some really big ones hiding back here. Hopefully you guys saw that one. That was cool. Oh, is that a northern? It is. And he throated my popper. Give me my bait back. And that is why I have a 25-pound leader on. Little snake northern. It was still cool when they blow up out of the water. I give them props for that. That's fun. That's something bigger. Oh, it's another northern pike. Not really that big either. Five-pound pike, 20 pounds of weeds. Apparently I'm in pike territory. Another snake. Danger. That's a bigger bass, I think. Yep. Let's see if we can get him out of there. Got weeds. No. That would be the biggest bass of the day. Well, there's a chunky little fish. It's only like 14 inches long, but he's like 2.5, 3 pounds. That's what you're looking for, this belly right here. I'll take a bunch of those. These guys are really far back in the cover. If I would have thought about that, I would have put on a small frog today, but popper's working, so let's get this guy back and try and get some more. Okay, I'll take a couple more of those guys. That thing was only like 14 inches, but almost 3 pounds. That's kind of cool. Like I said, they're way back in this junk. Like, it's really hard to get around in here. Luckily, I got a really strong trolling motor for this boat, but hopefully the next thing I see is another big one like that. See, the big thing I want to point out is if I get a 20-incher and it's built like that, this is the fall feed, it's gonna be big. So stay tuned.
that was a good bass. Was it? Oh my God, there was a giant back here. Oh, I knew it. I could see him feeding on stuff. Should have set my drag better, but wanted to get him out of the weeds. That thing was huge. Okay. Gonna take the last little bit of time I have out here seriously. Throw a nice big frog. If that giant was ready to come up and eat that other thing, they'll eat a frog. Except now, I can cast to where they're hiding. Oh, he got off. Oh, I found one. Okay, gave up the frog. I had 3 takes. One, I had the hook in, dove into some weeds, got off. So, I'm gonna see what else I can get on the popper before it's time to go.
Alright guys, yeah, today feels like a really long day, even though haven't been out here this long. But I did get a decent amount of topwater bass, considering it's September. Fall is usually not a good topwater time. I know you can still get smallmouth on topwater in the rivers, and occasionally you'll get a flurry of bass and smallmouth on main lakes and stuff like that, but usually you gotta kind of switch gears and start throwing some other stuff. So I figured I'd give it a try, get out, do it at least one more time, and I probably will try it again if I've seen fish bust on the surface. But either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's little random boat adventure. I got the boat out and yeah, went bass fishing. I think the next thing I'm going to try to do actually is possibly take my boat out on a river somewhere. It just depends on what I'm feeling like that day, and I have the ability to. So like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Obviously, if you're not new here, you know what's up, but if you are new, could you please just remember to